You opened your eyes, and it was already too much. Before your body even moved, your mind was running, thoughts stacking on top of each other. Things you didn't finish yesterday, things you're afraid might happen today, conversations replaying, pressure building quietly but fast. And maybe you didn't even notice the exact moment it started. It just happens, like your mind wakes up already behind. What was the very first thought you had this morning? Not the one you wish you had, the real one. Was it heavy? Was it urgent? Was it already pulling you into stress before your feet even touched the ground? That's the trap. You're starting your day in a deficit before anything has even happened. And the hardest part is this feels normal now. Like this is just how mornings are supposed to be. But deep down, part of you knows this isn't peace, because your body might be awake, but your mind feels like it never rested. You slept, but you didn't reset, and so you carry it. Yesterday's weight, tomorrow's worries, all placed onto the fragile space of a brand new morning. And without realizing it, anxiety becomes the first voice you listen to. Not truth, not peace, not God, just pressure. And from that place, everything else gets shaped. Your mood, your decisions, even how you see yourself. Because when your morning starts in noise, your whole day feels like something you have to survive, instead of something you're allowed to walk through with calm. But here's what matters. This isn't just about your thoughts. It's about what your thoughts are anchored to. Because right now, your mind is reacting, not being led. And that's why it feels so exhausting. You're not weak for feeling this. You're just unguarded in the first moments that matter most. And no one ever taught you how to protect that space. But something is about to shift. Not by forcing your mind to be quiet, not by pretending everything is okay, but by learning how to start your morning from a different place entirely. A place where peace speaks first. We're gonna get there, step by step. It's not random. The way your mind races in the morning, it's not because something is wrong with you. It's because your mind is trying to protect you. Somewhere along the way, it learned that if it scans fast enough, plans hard enough, prepares for the worst early enough, then maybe you won't get hurt again. Maybe you won't fall behind. Maybe you won't lose control. So the moment you wake up, it goes to work. Not gently, not patiently, but urgently. It starts asking quiet questions you don't even realize you're answering. What if today goes wrong? What if you're not ready? What if something slips through your hands again? And without noticing, your mind begins building scenarios, filling in gaps, rehearsing outcomes that haven't even happened and might never happen. But your body doesn't know the difference. It reacts as if it's real. Your chest tightens a little. Your breathing changes. There's a subtle tension that follows you, even into simple things. And suddenly, you're not just waking up, you're bracing yourself. That's the spiral. And the difficult part is, it feels responsible. Feels like you're being proactive, like you're staying ahead, like you're doing what you need to do to keep your life together. But underneath that, there's no peace, because control, and yet, you've been holding it so tightly, for so long, that it almost feels unsafe to put it down. Because if you stop thinking about everything, then who's in control? That's the quiet fear. But what if peace doesn't come from figuring everything out? What if it comes from finally letting something go? Not irresponsibly, not carelessly, but intentionally. Because there is a difference between being aware and being consumed. And right now, Your mind has been carrying more than it was ever meant to. But this is where something begins to open. Because once you see the pattern, you don't have to stay inside it. And you're not going to fight your mind to find peace. You're going to learn how to gently lead it somewhere better. You don't have to hold all of this, even if it feels like you should. Because somewhere deep inside, you've been taught that it's your job to carry it, fix it, manage it, stay ahead of it. And if you don't, something might fall apart. So you grip tighter, you think more, you plan more, you carry more. But there's a quiet invitation you may have overlooked. Not loud, not forceful, just steady and present. God never asked you to carry your life alone. And maybe that sounds simple, but it's not easy to live. Because releasing control feels unnatural when you've been surviving through control for so long. But listen closely, you were never designed to be your own source of peace. There's a difference between being responsible and being overwhelmed. And right now, your mind has been crossing that line every morning, holding things that were never yours to hold in the first place. There's a moment in Scripture that speaks directly into this kind of weight. /text, cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you, not some of it, not the easy parts, all of it, and not because you're weak, but because you're cared for. That changes everything, because this isn't about losing control, it's about transferring weight. It's about recognizing that what you've been trying to manage in your own strength was never meant to stay there. And maybe part of you resists that, because if you let go, what happens next? Will things fall apart? Will you lose track? Will you miss something important? But what if the opposite is true? What if holding everything is the very thing that's been draining you? And releasing it is where clarity begins. God is not asking you to ignore your life. He's inviting you to stop carrying it alone, to wake up, and instead of immediately stepping into pressure, you step into presence. Not rushing, not spiraling, but pausing long enough to place what's heavy into hands that are actually strong enough to hold it. And maybe for the first time in a while, you don't have to wake up bracing yourself. You can wake up supported. This is where peace begins to feel possible again. This is the shift, and it's quieter than you expect, because part of you still believes, if you don't stay on top of everything, something will slip, that if you relax your grip, life will get messy. So even when you hear trust, it feels distant, almost unrealistic. But control hasn't been giving you peace. It's been giving you tension. You wake up trying to manage outcomes that haven't even formed yet. You rehearse conversations, predict reactions, calculate risks, all before your day has even had a chance to begin. And it feels productive, but it leaves you tired before anything real even happens. That's the cost. Because control demands constant attention. Trust is different. It doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop carrying everything alone. And maybe no one explained it this way before. Trust is not passive. It's a decision you make again and again, especially when your mind wants to take over. So let's slow this down for a second. Right now, there are two ways your morning can begin. You can wake up and immediately try to control everything. Your schedule, your image, your outcomes, how people respond, how things unfold. Or you can wake up and place your day into God's hands before your mind has a chance to run ahead of you. That's the shift. Not later, not after things get overwhelming. At the very beginning, because what leads your morning shapes your day. So just notice this with me, Control says, I have to figure this out right now. Trust says, I don't have to carry this by myself. Control rushes. Trust pauses. Control tightens your chest. Trust creates space to breathe. And maybe for the first time, you're realizing you've been trying to feel safe by staying in control. But safety was never supposed to come from your ability to manage everything. It comes from knowing you're held, even when you don't have all the answers. So here's a gentle recap, just to ground this moment. You wake up, your mind starts racing, you try to get ahead of it, and end up feeling behind anyway. But now, something is different. You're beginning to see that you have a choice in those first moments. Not to force your thoughts to stop, but to choose what leads them. And from here, we're not going back to old patterns. We're going to build something new, a way of starting your morning that actually gives you peace. This is where it becomes real, not just something you understand, but something you can actually do. Because peace isn't something you wait for, it's something you practice, especially in the first moments of your day. So I want to walk you through a simple framework. 5 gentle steps, not overwhelming, not rigid, just something you can return to every morning, even when your mind feels loud. Step 1, pause before input, before your phone, before notifications, before the world starts speaking into your mind. Just pause, even for a few seconds, because the first voice you hear matters more than you think. And if the first thing you receive is pressure, your mind will follow that direction. So instead, give yourself space to arrive. Step 2, notice without judgment. What are you feeling right now? Not what you should feel, what's actually there. Maybe it's tension, maybe it's heaviness, maybe it's that quiet sense of, I'm already behind. Don't fight it, just name it, because what you can name, you can begin to release. Step 3, release the weight. This is where you gently let go, not by forcing your thoughts away, but by handing them over. The pressure, the unknowns, the things you can't control. You don't need to solve them right now. You're allowed to place them somewhere safe. And this is your moment. Type this slowly and mean it. I am releasing what I was never meant to carry. Let that sit with you, because something shifts when you stop gripping so tightly. Step 4, receive peace intentionally, not passively. You don't just hope for peace, you step into it, through stillness, through breath, through awareness of God's presence. Right here, with you. Even now, nothing is chasing you. Nothing is demanding from you in this exact moment. You are allowed to feel calm before the day begins. And that calm is not fragile. It's available. Step 5, set your anchor. Just one truth to carry with you. Not 10 thoughts. Not a long list. One. Something simple, but steady. Like, I don't have to figure everything out today. Or, I am supported, even in the unknown. Let that be the thing your mind returns to when it tries to drift. Because your mind will wander. That's okay. But now, it has somewhere to come back to. And that's the difference. You're not trying to control your thoughts anymore. You're giving them a place to land. And this is how your morning begins to change. Not all at once, not perfectly, but gently and consistently, until one day you wake up and instead of pressure being the first thing you feel, there's space, there's breath, there's peace, and you realize something has already started shifting. Just stay here for a moment. You don't need to move. You don't need to do anything else right now. Just Breathe. Slowly. Let your shoulders drop a little. Let your jaw soften. Let your mind stop trying so hard. Just for this moment. We're not rushing this. We're anchoring. So if it helps, close your eyes and just follow these words quietly, gently, like they're your own. God, I'm here, and I'm tired of waking up already overwhelmed. Before anything even happens, my mind is already carrying too much. The pressure, the expectations, the thoughts that don't slow down. I've been holding all of it, like it's my responsibility to figure everything out. But right now, I don't want to carry it like that anymore. So I'm bringing it to you, not perfectly, not with the right words, just honestly. Take this weight that I keep picking up every morning, the things I can't control, the outcomes I keep trying to manage, the fears that keep replaying in my mind. I release them, even if part of me wants to hold on. I'm choosing to let go, because I know you see me. You understand what I haven't even said out loud. And you're not asking me to have it all together. You're just asking me to come to you. So here I am, and I receive your peace now. Not later, not when everything is fixed. Right now, in the middle of what's unfinished. Let your calm settle over my thoughts. Let your presence quiet the noise. Remind me that I am not alone in this day, that I don't have to rush ahead of myself, that I can move slowly and still be okay. God, teach my mind a new rhythm, not one of pressure, but of peace, not one of control, but of trust. And when my thoughts start to spiral again, gently bring me back, not with frustration, but with grace. I choose to believe that something is shifting in me, even if it's small, even if it's quiet. I am not starting this day empty. I am starting it held. Just sit with that for a few seconds. No need to analyze it. Just feel it. Because this is what it's like to begin your day from a different place. And you can come back to this anytime your mind starts drifting again. You're not meant to lose this the moment your day gets busy. Because peace isn't just for quiet mornings. It's something you can carry, but it will be tested. There will be moments, small ones, where pressure tries to come back in. A message you didn't expect, a delay, a shift in plans, and you'll feel that familiar pull to go back into overthinking. That's normal, but now you're not the same. You don't have to follow every thought that shows up. You can notice it and return. That's the practice, not perfection, just returning. So sometime in your afternoon, when you feel your mind starting to speed up again, pause, even if it's just for 10 seconds. Take one slow breath and come back to your anchor, the one you chose this morning. Let it interrupt the spiral before it builds, because peace doesn't disappear. It just gets buried under noise, and you already know how to uncover it now. You don't need a perfect environment. You don't need everything to go your way. You just need a moment of awareness and a willingness to come back again and again. And if today doesn't go exactly how you hoped, that doesn't mean you've lost your progress. It just means you're human. Peace is not fragile. It's patient. It waits for you to return. So when your mind tries to pull you ahead or drag you backward, just gently remind yourself, I can come back to calm right here. And if you feel ready, type this just once more slowly. I am walking in peace, not pressure. Let that be how you move through the rest of your day. Not rushed, not overwhelmed, but grounded, because something has shifted. Maybe not everything around you, but something within you. And that's where real change begins. If this gave you even a small sense of calm, stay connected. There's more peace waiting for you, one morning at a time. And this is how your mornings begin to change. Not by force, but by returning again and again. So if something in you felt even a little lighter today, don't ignore that. That's your signal. You're not just someone trying to find peace anymore. You're becoming someone who lives in it. And you don't have to do this alone. If you want to keep building this, one morning at a time, stay here with me.